mics until 3 months or 4 months into it, and you were one of the first people I had seen prior to meeting you several months later at Yerman's. And I remember at least I think I have this memory, and I thought I saw you, and I was like, this guy is so fucking funny and so like structured. I was like, I don't know if I can ever do this. And then I met you, and I was like, oh yeah, this guy's an idiot.
Don't worry, Josh. One day you'll be able to do this.
I know.
I gotta my stomach is really bothering me right now. It just happened out of nowhere for the last 20 minutes. Josh thinks it's because I murdered
animals. He eats dead animals.
I eat dead animals. Anyway, I might have to like get off the video and just take a shit. You know, I don't want to. Like, I'm still gonna be on the podcast because this is the new era, baby. It's the new wave. All right.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. Well,
I'm just not gonna like, you know, show.
Well, you could always.
I don't know. I could just stop the video.
You could always bring. Oh, he's got a shit now.
Wow.
Yeah.
You have to go now and poop, Kevin?
I think I might have to throw up, actually.
Wow.
Wow.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
I think it's whatever I eat.
Is this in real time that Kevin just got by coronavirus?
Yo, that's fucked up. I have to live with this guy.
You definitely have it then. If he's already shitting his brains out from coronavirus, I guess I'm the last gigolo.
We got it from you, if anything. It just like fucking incubated in us for the last 3 weeks.
So I did remember actually wiping my coronavirus hands on all of your stuff at there. Now I remember, actually, yeah.
I know I've already said this bit, but I told Kevin, I was like, if one of us gets sick, it's going to be like we're a 1980s gay couple and one of us has AIDS.
Oh my God, dude, that should be the Gigolos movie. Should be just angels in America, but us. In a throuple.
Oh shit!
Kevin's withering away. He's 200 pounds.
And then I'm like, I guess you and me are just gonna have to be gay with each other ourselves.
That's all that's left. Well, now that we know we're both immune to the virus.
Yeah. That's cool. That's a great idea. All the movies that we say we're gonna make.
Yeah.
That's what this podcast should really be called. Movies we say we're going to make while high.
All these grand plans.
Yeah. Although Kevin has a computer now.
He does.
Kevin is your best hope.
Kevin has a computer. I have, we got the tripod, which has been used a few times and it works successfully. Yeah. I'm waiting for a ring light.
I can't fuck you with my dick, but I do have this tripod. We have to stay 6 feet apart.
Yo, listen. I know that you're joking and it's lighthearted. I'm not doing so well, honestly. You know, like gigoloing is a 1 day a week thing for you. You know, for me, you know, I am used to being out and about and being. Are you an introvert, John? That's the question.
What I am, I'm a Wednesday. What do you call it? A Wednesday warrior gigolo. Mm-hmm. I'm a gigolo only on Wednesdays from the hours of 9 to 11. A Wednesday warrior. But
I feel like just a gigoloing aside, you're like you know that I hate that fucking saying that you're an introverted extrovert or you're an extroverted introvert. That's who you are you not?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I just don't go out when I'm trying to do like stand up or something like that. I think my whole behavior of whether I go out or not is all dependent for me on like, am I doing something creative? Because listen, I play the same song. Like I hate myself for my lack of productivity or whatever. That's like my thing of my life. Right. Mm-hmm. So, you know, like when I go out, like I'm not going out for social reasons. I'm going out to try to like do a show or do something like that. And it's like kind of how I've lived my life. So that's the kind of extrovert I am.
Right. I don't know if you're a good actor, but I see you when you're extroverted, like when we go out and we do, you know, a mic or a show or we go to a party or it's your birthday. I see you very comfortable as an extrovert, though. I see you thriving in it, even being better even than me. Which I wanted to make an observation before you respond. I live with Kevin now. He's the fucking worst. So I'm fucking depressed. I haven't seen my kid for over 2 weeks now.
Wow.
This shit's starting to drive me crazy. And Kevin is the happiest fucking Dominican guy you've ever met. He's on the phone all day long having hilarious conversations with people.
You're talking to Ralph. He was talking to Ralph, dude.
But no, even aside from Ralph, we wake up at weird times. Like our schedules, I went to sleep at 6 a.m. today. I woke up at like 12. I slept for another hour, a few hours later. Kevin and I, we're both retarded at this point. Yeah. But Kevin, regardless, I'm sitting in the living room or I'm in my room and I'm being cantankerous and I'm loathing life because I thought this was going to be great. I wished for this for years. But apparently it's awful. But Kevin is having the time of his fucking life.
You wished to live with Kevin for years?
No, I wished for the apocalypse.
Oh. Interesting.
It's not that I'm fucking having the time of my life. It's more like, my whole life has been like just accepting the things for what it is, right? In that moment, and just fucking doing what I want to do. Or finding a way to do what I want to do and keep myself busy.
Right. I accept my life also, which has also been a disaster like you, Kevin. But you don't have to pretend like you're enjoying it. You're fucking enjoying it, Kevin.
I'm not pretending.
I know. Well, you're fucking, then pretend like you're not.
Damn, dude, this is ridiculous. Don't tell Kevin whether he can enjoy his pandemic or not.
Yeah, man.
Right before I got on the podcast with you guys, I was thinking to myself, like, I feel so relaxed at home because this is the first time literally since I was in high school where I really don't have to wake up tomorrow and worry about going to work. And I can really be like, or the next 2 weeks. Like, do you remember when your life finally, well, of course you guys remember because you've had different like experiences, but I remember being like, when I realized that it was like, oh, I'm never going to have a long stretch of time where I'm like, I can just be not working and not worrying about where the money is coming from, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
Like from when I was like a teenager and I'm like, there was like, 17 and a half, 18. It's like, okay, now you're not living on the same rules anymore of like how your finances are. Like you can't, this is now your life. You know what I mean? But now and a lot of it is because I have a job still and like I'm working from home, but like, it's not a huge demand. So I'm not like struggling in that way.
Right.
I was like, holy shit, I feel so relaxed. Like I've been doing my work diligently, like my artwork, the creative stuff, like the way I've always wanted. And the way the oppressive nature of work and life have like shadowed me into a corner. Now I'm like, holy shit, I can do what I want. It's like, in a way, like I never want this to end. I'm also trying to like grab as much of it as I can. Cause like, when is this going to come back for me?
Right. It's like catching money in a dream. You want to hold on to it and wake up with it still in your hands. The thing is this, John, the life that you're describing is something that I've lived in for 90% of my life. You understand? Like that was my life. I started when I was in 5th grade. I figured I could just stay home and I don't have to work.
God bless.
And that was,
by the way, you're listening to the Low End Gigolos.
Oh yeah,
the
Low End Gigolo.
That is great.
This is my dream has come true, and you know what? I thought I would be the one who would be best suited. When I'm saying I'd be the one best suited, I think of the people I spend the majority of my living life with, and that's you guys. And I've come to find out that I am the least well suited to live this lifestyle. I think I'm going to give Jonathan, Grading Humans, an A+ for coronavirus quarantine. Coronavirus quarantine, Jonathan Kaplan has done an extra stellar job. Kevin is a B+. I'd give him an A, but I can't stand to hear how happy he is every day. And I'm.
It's not that I'm happy every day though.
Hold on, let's get his grade. He's gonna grade himself.
I am getting close to failing out.
He's grading himself something low. Oh my God.
You're averaging a D.
Let me tell you.
What you're saying.
This is proof. Like Kevin, I mean, you have to agree. I've never seen Josh like this. This is like, you know how like Clark Kent and Superman are opposite characters?
Yeah.
This, Josh, is the opposite of Libido Man. Like the symbiotic creature, like Libido Man is to Josh as Venom is to the guy that inhabits that guy, whatever, I don't know the comic. But like this is with him, Libido Man completely gone back to space.
No, this is 7th grade Josh. This is jerk off Josh. This is my old nickname.
Oh,
That's right.
And this time you're living it, baby.
Yeah, this is jerk off. I have de-evolved.
Yeah, you back to jerk off Josh, bro.
Yeah, well, listen, you're also jerk off Kevin. Kevin and I take 8 restroom breaks a day to go jerk off.
Man, I would not want to be in that nightmare of a household. Holy shit.
Yo,
I mean, I jerk off too, but
if you're looking for DNA to repopulate the world, you can find
these two guys are in their apartment coming on each other.
there's a lot of sperm.
They slap dicks on the way to the bathroom. They just like cheers. They cheers their dickheads.
Yo, man, that's what we do. But like
would you guys have the balls to make that sketch?
What, a dick slapping sketch?
Like the sketch about how you spent pandemic.
First of all, I can't. I'm doing all types. I'm writing all types of shit right now. But like when we get all the when I get everything ready to edit. So
hell yeah, dude.
It's gonna.
I'm
be fun.
aching to do comedy again.
Yeah,
and like the crazy thing is, like when this started 2 or 3 weeks ago, I knew off the bat that this was going to be a great time for creativity. I knew, for me personally, that's the one part of me that hasn't changed. Like this has been breeding inside of me hilarity and comedy, and my comedic acuity is as sharp as it's ever been, but I'm also more depressed about it than ever because, as we all know, I started doing stand-up way late. Like I did everything but, and like I did improv for years, and like I did comedy and sketch and other shit. But like, until you start actually like getting on a stage and standing in front of people and like putting your shit on the line, you're not really quite tuned into what the comedy is. I really believe that, man.
Listen,
and I know you have a differing opinion of that, John.
Yeah, I just think that like, okay, for instance, I'll give you an example, and it's an example of like, there are like, just because it's going on a stage and doing it in that particular way, that's one sliver of the pie that is comedy or artistic expression or whatever and if you want to like view your world in this sliver of a thing that's evaporating,
this is what I mean by it. I don't mean that doing stand-up is the beginning and the ending of it all. I believe it wasn't until, I stepped over the threshold of putting myself on the line and doing stand-up that I wasn't in contact with people like you, with people like Kevin, with people who have that mind that's, we're living in that wave, we're living in that, like, where is the humor? How do we birth it?
Right.
Everything is hilarious, and I feel myself, I think part of my depression that I'm going through right now is that I'm reflecting upon a person who I was in the past. I've spent months in my fucking bedroom before. Like I've lived the life I'm currently living in a different lifetime. A few £100 ago, I fucking would spend, especially like, let's say I did some stock scheme. I'm working on Wall Street and the firm.
At the risk of saying something sincere to you.
Yeah.
I really think you got to cut yourself some slack and get your own foot off of your neck and let yourself appreciate what you have done. Because like I was talking to Ralph on that podcast thing that that you listened to, and he asked me who like a local person that I admire of creativity. And I said Julie Gatakis, because she was doing what I wanted to do. And maybe you could say am doing now. Yeah. Like, because I've found a way of like taking life and putting it out into art in a coherent way that like works for me. Back in 2014, 15, 16, I was like, man, I wish I could do that. Yeah. I saw Julie and I was like, I wish I could do that so bad, like with every fiber of my soul. And I couldn't do it as articulately. And like after that period of time, that's when I first did Killing It with Marianne. Like, but in that pocket of time, I couldn't. So you do have a podcast. You do stand up. You get shows. Like you're liked by that whole scene. So stand in this quiet moment and see the wave of all that hit you back. Right. All that running. Let it all like be like, I am not nobody. Come on. Like give yourself some love too. All that jerking off you're doing, and you're no self-love.
No self-love, bro. What's the point of masturbating if you're not like, you know what, I deserve this?
Just bust a nut. I don't even give myself a kiss. None of that
He doesn't even count jerking. He's like, I would feel better if I could be holding a woman and jerk off with that. Then
I'm like, and you know, like I used to be a big fat fuck and I never stopped loving food. Like I don't even enjoy eating at this point.
Yeah, well, you've made this covenant about veganism, denying the fact that life is killing. If you look at nature, it is nothing but killing. And if you are a part of the system, why is it? Do you know? I've been really into trees recently. Check this out.
Okay.
So listen to this. This is. It makes sense for what we're about to say. So like, there's this Irish heather tree, I believe, right? Mm. And it grows in these long strands, right? It's almost like the tree only comes out to like the ground and then starts like a million different stalks instead of having a trunk, right? Or have a little trunk, right? And they're like, when did this tree start growing like that? And apparently humans have been pruning those type of trees since before we had language, because if you prune it like that, it lives forever. If it let it grow, it'll die in 80 years. If you keep pruning it, it'll live 600, 700 years. So we used the stalks to make fishing rods and all kinds of shit with it, and then it would grow back. We've been doing it since before the Neolithic era. But humans are part of nature, and that's the American Indians had a covenant that like, I eat you, and maybe one day you will eat me, and my bones will feed the trees, and then we have this cycle.
Right, the circle.
So it's like to deny food because of a hang up, that's more Jainist or Buddhist, but like that actually is a part of nature. Now you can make the argument that like factory farming and all these things are evil, but we are just a less than 1 billion years old machination of nature. The dinosaurs had spans of 70, 80 millions of years. Humans have not been there that long. Right. So how is what we're doing not natural, even though we can understand it? How are we not natural?
Because we were given a spark of God, the Creator.
Everything has minutes in. God, high five, Josh. We got him to talk about God.
God gave us. No, but you know what I got from what you just said, John? The message that I got from that is by destroying something a little bit without completely killing it, you give it a chance to birth even bigger. And that's the way I feel about what we're going through right now. And listen, you guys know my story. I've had one of the most ridiculous lives ever. I've lived 1 million lives in a life that's only 40 years. And I've been in this mindset before, and I've had this feeling before. But what I know is from great pain and great uncomfortability, you know, I don't know what that poem is, but you know that thing about the lobster where like the lobster, you know, until it feels it's in pain, it can't shed its exoskeleton. It won't push it off of itself. You know what? So you have to be in pain.
I don't even think I know of that poem, but I'd like to read it. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. So like I know from pain, from uncomfortability, it births you forward. So like I hold on to faith, and I believe that greater things are going to come. I'm just saying, for the moment, living in it, I'm disclosing to you and the Gigolo family that I'm not enjoying it.
Yeah, dude, I think it's really great, and it's really vulnerable of you.
Thanks, John.
You know what I mean? This is a different episode. Allegedly, this is our 100th free episode tonight.
Holy shit, 100 free motherfucking episodes, son.
Yeah.
That means we have like 290 episodes.
Yo, that's another thing, man. Like while we have not like promoted the shit out of this show or whatever, it is great. And I'm so grateful to do it. And I think it like has been such a fun thing to like develop this unique voice of the show, which is our three, like, I thought Ralph gave us a real nice compliment on the show. Did you hear the compliment?
On the description that he wrote, you're talking about?
No. During our interview, we talked about the Gigolos. I talked about everything that I'm involved in.
Okay.
And he said, because I had to bring artwork that I like, right?
Right.
And he was like, well, I think that I do see the Gigolos in that artwork because of how musical we are. And it's like we're all playing instruments, and it's like sometimes you take the lead or I take the lead, and Kevin he thinks Kevin is the foundation or like the bass line.
Oh, I see that.
Yeah. And I was like, that was awesome. And you know what? I really appreciated, and I appreciated how he got that. That's the vibe that we give. And that he, you know, I know Ralph is like genuine, you know, Ralph
Right.
speaks from the
Genuine
heart.
fucking dude, bro.
Yeah. This thing that he's doing is fantastic.
I like during that thing, he helped me with 2, maybe 3 bits that I could take to the stage. Like just talking to him and not trying to come up with jokes, just like fucking just going through not going through the motions, that's the wrong way to put it, but just like having that dialogue.
Me and him, I felt like what we did when we hung out was like we called it philosophizing.
Yeah.
We love to like get on a philosophical riff and like hit it from a million different thought ways. Like, here's an idea. What is it this way? And turn it upside down. And how about that way? Like, it's fun. It's fun to talk with him.
Yeah, he wanted you on that show, bro. Josh,
oh yeah,
you on it.
Yes, you do it next. That's great. It's a great.
As soon as I can pull myself out of this funk, I'm gonna do it. I got a lot of things I need to do.
Bro, like the problem with saying like I'm gonna pull myself out of this funk and then I'll do something is sometimes the thing you're supposed to do will pull you out of that funk.
You know, Kevin, you forget who you're talking to. You're talking to Josh. Josh doesn't do. He's like, yeah. My way of doing something is getting somebody to do that thing.
Shut up, John. No, you know, listen. I have a fucked up head. That's all.
It's all good, dude. It's all good. Listen, sometimes I think that you're going through something and you'll persevere through it. And you're right. Like, it will teach you lessons about things.
This is the thing. So here's the crazy thing. So 2 weeks ago, this is actually 6 weeks ago, I started telling my ex, I'm like, my intuition is telling me that this Corona thing, when I just first started talking about it, is going to lead one thing to another, and it's going to become difficult. And I started telling her, like, I think they're going to end up closing public school down for at least a few weeks. And like I was telling her this, and you know, she was like, "What are you, nuts?" And like, because this is like 6-7 weeks ago, you know. And as it got closer, and then I was like, you know, I think they're going to do it next week, and then they did it next week. They closed the school, and the next thing you know, they closed everything down. And I actually was enjoying it because, again, like I said, I wished for the end of the world for many years. You know, I was like, here's that scenario that I've played in my head hundreds of times, and you know, I made a Facebook status that it's like a snow day but with death. You know, like, it was exciting. I think, you know, day-to-day life can get boring sometimes, and I thought I was kind of enjoying it for a minute. And I think that initial, you know, adrenaline and being like, oh, you knew what was up. You had like that whole pat on your back. I knew what was going to happen. Once that passed, I was like, oh shit, I am right. And when I said goodbye to my, you know, when they finally closed things down, you know, me and Kevin did a show that Thursday night, and the next day everything was closing down. She tells me, I'm taking Alex to Florida, you know? And I was like, if you fucking take my kid, I'm going to call the police. You can't do that. If you take him, you know, you could end up being gone for a month. And she was like, I'm going to be gone for
a week. It was like, what police?
Huh?
She was like, what police? What are they going to do?
No, this is, listen, Kevin, this is before this. You could still call the police.
Man, this is
I told her, I said,
I can't wait to hear what's coming.
If you take him out of town without my permission, you know, like, I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure that doesn't happen. And thankfully, you know, like I thought about it, I paused on it, and I was like, you know what? I was like, just take him the fuck out of New York City. You know, go put him somewhere safe. Let him, you know, she was like, I'm going to put him somewhere he'll have, you know, a yard. He can go outside. He can play in a pool. I was like,
yeah, dude.
Let me not be a selfish prick and let him go. And I kissed my son goodbye 2 weeks ago, and I said, you know, I love you. Take care of yourself. Take care of your mother and this and that. And I was still on that head like, you know, I'm a fucking, you know, crazy person who thinks like the world's going to come to an end. And now it's 3 weeks later, you know, and after today, I think he could end up, you know, I can end up being, I won't see my kid for another 2-3 months, you know, like that's my view on shit right now. So, you know, that's what's catching up to me. I just need to find other ways to enjoy life again.
That's heavy, dude. That is heavy. I mean, listen, I feel like I've always told you that you shouldn't have had kids.
Not before I had one, John.
I mean, every time I'm over there and he's around, I'm like, this guy again.
Everybody who knows.
See if you can get rid of him.
The only person who thought I should ever have a kid was my ex.
The one you had a kid with?
Yes. Kevin, tell us about your interview with Ralph. Ron Jean-Pierre. Is that his name?
This is great. God bless you. Hold on a second. Kevin.
Yeah.
Kevin. It's Ron.
It's Ron?
Yeah.
So me and Ronnie boy.
Yeah, him and Ron were there. And it was actually a great episode. Kevin's great. I mean, it was so great hearing just like you talk about stuff. It was, I mean, I will say that I told Ralph this today, like after I watched your thing, because I've watched a bunch of them. I watched O'Henny and I watched Mandela. Because I like his. Do you know Krim? Like he used to be called Krim, and now he's called Mandela Eskia. He's Ralph's. Shit. He's Ron's rapper. They used to do stuff together.
Okay.
His stuff is really good, and Ralph did an interview with him, and I was like, wow, this is coming out good for Ralph. Like,
fuck yeah.
And then I watched the one with the other Haitian comedian, and I was like, damn, this is
the thing about Ralph is he has a sincerity to his interest. You know, like he's not bullshitting you like he really cares. He's not doing the podcast or the recording because he wants to hear his own voice, as opposed to Kevin, yourself, and myself.
You know, I mean, Ralph can get himself in trouble, and we all know. Once he
I felt it steering a certain way for a second. Let's get out of here. Let's just.
Really? You thought you were gonna butt heads with him?
I mean, dude.
No.
We have not had. So when Ralph has been on the show, we've always had like amicable and fun, but you guys have never been in a full blown war with Ralph. I have been in full blown wars where I'm literally yelling at him like, "Shut the fuck up!" Like totally. Just as vicious and truthfully mean. Like, I'm not mean. I'm never mean to you guys. I could be mean. Yeah. And I fucking have let Ralph have it. Especially during the whole, like, editing of the Killing It last episode.
Well, I'll tell you why. It's because you and Ralph, your most common denominator is your sincerity. Oh. When you're discussing something, you're telling it from your true, from your perspective. You're not just talking shit.
Right.
So you're going to stand by what you're,
Well, also, he's unyielding. Like, his thing is to be obstinate. Like, I think this way, and even though in your head, by your truth to yourself, you see it another way, I am going to tell you you're wrong.
That's Ralph. That's Ron Jean-Pierre you're talking about.
Ron Jean-Pierre.
Right. But you won't do that. You'll fight the subject for a little bit. And I've seen this before. And then you'll just be like, okay, I agree. And in your head, you're like, you're a fucking moron. I'm correct and you're just an idiot. That's fine.
Yeah, that does not only sound, but feel good.
Bro, I have we're all on social media now and everybody's hitting each other up, rekindling friendships and shit like that. And today, I had a sergeant hit me up from the Army, somebody I served with. And he was my leader for the last year and a half of my contract. And he hits me up today, and I call him Sergeant First Class Moore, right? And sometimes people give you the gift that just keeps on giving. It's going to keep on giving for a long time, okay? I'm now in debt to this man because I told him today I'm not comfortable calling him Sergeant First Class Moore anymore because I'm so far removed from that. Can I just call you Moore? And that's what I asked him. He goes, of course. You can call me. Now, he set up his own thing. You can call me Mo, M-O-E. I was like, that makes sense. I could see that being a thing, right? And I shit you not, he goes, or you can call me Fireball.
Wow, dude. What did you end up going with?
For a split second of them.
Damn.
And then I was like,
you were like, fuck you, Fireball. What the hell is this?
He definitely gave himself that nickname right then and there.
You think he just thought of it there?
Right then and there.
Nah, bro. He gets called that by some people.
Bro, he doesn't drink. He hasn't drank in 20 years. So I know he wasn't even around when Fireball came out. Like, he wasn't in the scene when Fireball was a thing.
Maybe he played Street Fighter 2 as Dalsum.
That's more likely. That's more likely.
It's more likely, right? But I felt in my heart of hearts, he's a black guy. No one in the black community calls anyone Fireball. This never happened.
Hey, man, you seen Fireball?
I know. It sounds like more like a biker gang thing from the 50s.
Maybe in the 80s.
Yeah, 80s.
Anyway, he isn't a biker gang, technically.
Wow.
So there you go. See, John figured it out.
Wow.
But anyway, as soon as he said that, I was like, all right, Fireball. And the amount of glee and joy that rang in my heart, the amount of laughter that and I'm gonna call him Fireball to the day he died.
Yes.
I'm gonna speak at his,
yes.
I'm gonna speak at his funeral. I good old Fireball, man. I'm gonna do it all, bro. I promise you, I'm never gonna let this man live it down. And
I feel like it's like you know what the move is? You're crying already. And you slam your hand on the casket and you look up to the sky and be like, what, Fireball?
Oh, Fireball!
This is almost like when your mom was like, you can call me Switchblade from now on, Kevin. You have to laugh, you piece of shit.
Wait, did that really happen? No.
No.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
so continue. What was about Fireball? That is great.
Dude,
he's got a shit. You're gonna shit for the Patreon? Bring us.
This is for live, guys.
Yeah.
You're gonna take the phone with you to the toilet?
This is not the phone, bro.
This is the laptop. No. He's going straight up to the. You're not gonna want to use that computer.
That's it.
He's not gonna clean it off. You guys don't even have a bottle of alcohol between you.
I have wipes. Honestly, like, I don't. Did you buy all that shit? Like fucking hand sanitizers and stuff?
I have soap.
Well, I want to hear this, John, because, like, because you've spent the last year and a half of your life here once a week, what life is in this household.
Yeah, terrifying. Yes.
I've seen pictures. I know about Gigolos Studio East.
Yes.
But tell me about what is your lifestyle in this coronavirus
apocalyptic world? Okay.
Yeah. So, like, first of all, are you attached to your parents' house or no?
No. I live completely in a different.
You live far from your parents?
Yeah, like a half hour, 45 minutes.
Wow. They live further out east, or?
No, they live further closer to the city. I lived on the border of Nassau and Queens.
Okay, so you're farther out.
Guys, I hate to interrupt, but I'm going to go in and out.
That's fine. It's hitting you hard. All right, well, we'll see if we catch up with you during the Patreon.
Wait. I just want to let you guys know that right now I'm taking a shit.
Okay.
Wow.
It's burning my asshole, but I have eaten nothing spicy for days. So
sounds like Rona.
Wow, your ass burns and you haven't ate anything spicy?
Not one spicy thing in sight.
Yeah, dude, that's AIDS.
That's Rona. Rona AIDS.
Raids.
Rona combined with that old American chestnut AIDS.
Yeah, they virused together. They had a
collabo.
Yeah.
The AIDS,
this is the
Rona,
remix.
AIDS featuring Corona, 2021. It's like,
and John, I had so many song ideas when Corona came out, and they all got done already.
You should do a Dr. Dre. Dum, 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 dum.
What song is that?
Dun, 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 dun. It's The Watcher. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, The Watcher. Everywhere that Kev go, he has a burning asshole.
Yeah,
we don't know why. Maybe Corona made him cry.
He's definitely gonna die. I'm gonna feel weird about this episode later on.
Things just ain't the same for Kevin. His butthole is burning. He's been yearning.
His butthole is burning and raging. His butthole be feeling like a Cajun.
Ooh, spicy. It's getting spicy.
Yeah. Oh, that would be in the song.
Yeah, that would be part of the. Oh man, Kevin is joining us. Oh, he almost joined. You missed it. You were looking down. He joined us.
Don't worry, it's recorded. Whatever we see. You know what's gross though? Taking your new laptop and having diarrhea right next to it. The grossest thing of all time. Totally gross. Holy shit. Why could you do that? I just listened to this podcast.
Let me ask you a question, John.
I just listened. Shut up. I can't see you. And if you want to talk, then you have to put your video of you shitting for the public. For the public, because this episode is being recorded and we're going to put it out on Facebook. I'm going to comment with it under your interview. So it's like the best of Kevin and the worst of Kevin.
And it will still be marvelous, okay?
It will be marvelous. Look at. Do you want to see vulnerability? This is vulnerability.
You never taking a shit, taking your laptop into the bathroom and then realize, oh, I should probably jerk off now too?
Hell motherfucking no.
That's never.
Let me tell you. Listen. It's been so long since I haven't jerked off to a full giant HD TV.
Wow.
Of the most premium, excellent porn on earth. I can't even remember. No, I never, and I didn't have a laptop back when I was doing that shit. So
yeah, but you're missing out on the Eric Miller because you're not doing the virtual porn. Eric Miller's put everybody on. Yo, dude, from what he's told me, John, it's a different level. Honestly, I think if you put that on, Carol's in big danger.
No. You see, someone would have to really actually truly enjoy sex.
I think you'd enjoy this because all these people you would never have to ever talk to actually.
I don't care. You know what it is? Like, I think one thing about I am actually just into the classic looking at a naked woman. That's like, you know, it's like, that's like a turning point of jerking off, like as a young man. Like, this is what people don't understand. This is what they don't understand about jerking off, man. See, jerking off is about when you finally realize your own sexuality, and it's usually because you're seeing a naked woman. Or if you're gay, it's like seeing a guy. But like, there's like a purity of that. And that's the kind of thing that I still totally get off to. I don't even want to go further into any of the having sex part. I just want to look at the naked woman, jerk off, divinity, you know?
Right. Well, you know what that is? That's your animal soul.
Jonathan, you forgot the bestiality community, and
you're right.
No, well, that's also animal soul. So, like, you know, God gives people.
Is that the kind of stuff you think about when you're on the shitter, Kevin? There's a snake of shit pouring out of your asshole, and you're like, you know, I should fuck animals. Bestiality is a thing that's cool.
No comment.
Yeah, is it harder to come up with ideas when your whole fucking insides are melting out? It's like you're like sitting on the toilet and you're like, oh shit, man, it's really hard. Be like, it's hard to come up with bits when you're shitting like this.
You get fucked by an iguana, it's gonna burn, Kevin.
God damn, dude. That sucks. But it's happening to all of us. You're gonna be shitting after not eating spicy food because the bug's gonna travel. The raids bug is gonna travel from Kevin to Josh.
No,
and then
Kevin
it's gonna miss me because I don't live with you guys.
Kevin's my gay husband who dies of raids.
That is what our Gigolos in America. That's the name of the show.
It is. I'm gonna take care of him. I'm gonna slide pieces of salami under the door for him. Your quarantine's got to stay in there, Kevin. Don't get out your fucking room.
Kevin has to quarantine to the bathroom now. You should go lock him in there. You should start hammering the boards and close him into the bathroom.
No, well, the problem is there's no window there. I'm going to give Kevin a choice. He can either quarantine in the bathroom, which means he gets no fresh air, but he has a toilet, or he can quarantine in his bedroom, and I'm gonna fucking barricade the doors from the outside, and if he has to shit or piss, he has to open one of the windows in his bedroom and do it out the window.
What if this is the end? What if this is the end of the old era? I do think about that a little bit.
I think it very may well be, and I think I'm glad that we recorded Low End Gigolos leading up into it, because I think we encaptured the depth and breadth of the world as it was right before everything completely killed itself.
I agree with you. I think that, like, I always had, I don't know where, I didn't come up with this idea, but I always like found a nice shorthand of like, you don't get through a century without a world war.
Mm-hmm.
And like, and when I always said that, like, I was like, oh, well, what I mean is that, like, in no century is there not like
a cataclysmic,
some type of strife that plagues the people. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, but I mean, listen, you and I have been alive for 40 years, and until this came about, and we've lived through 9/11. We've lived through.
Yeah, we were born right after the last cataclysmic thing, which I would consider the Vietnam War. I think the Vietnam War changed the world in that way.
Right, and we were born after that.
Right.
So, and we didn't live through like the Cuban Missile Crisis or any of that shit, which our parents did.
But, and I will say that, like, growing up, I mean, me and you were the same age. I remember just living in the shadow of the echo of Vietnam and what it meant to everybody, and the way, like, Rambo is a post-Vietnam character. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, you learned. The thing is that we were born into a world where you saw the difference in opinions of something that factually happened. You know, you saw people who saw it as one way versus the other, which I think also gave us a good, even temperament. I mean, at least for you and ourselves, to realize that there is no truth. You know,
well, Generation X, which I think I definitely identify more with, you know, has that attitude, you know, right?
What year were you born, John?
79.
Oh, no doubt. Awesome.
Yeah.
You know that there's a I think it's a 3-year time frame they say is a separate entity of itself.
Yeah.
That you and I fall into. I think it's from 78 to like 82, I think.
You know, the thing about our age group, and I think I've always thought this, is that like people of our age range don't define themselves in like caricaturable ways. Mm-hmm. The way that like the other generations seem, it's like, oh, you're a millennial. It's such a brand.
Right. We fall into like a no man's land. There's no set definitive way, which brings me to another thing I was thinking about recently. Since the 90s, has there really been a definitive decade? Is there like, you can think about like, the 90s, you can think about like house music and like those dudes from Saturday Night Live and like Britney Spears and like boy bands. There's so much 90s shit you can think of. Nickelodeon and the 80s you can, and the 60s and everything you can. But since the 90s, can you think of anything in the last 30, 20 fucking years?
Absolutely. Because we reacted badly to what it turned into. So I'd say 2000 to 2014 was a type of like indie-ish, hipsterish, metropolitan, you know, sort of like Vice magazine before they went all like political. I'm
sorry to break you off, and I think you'd like this. I'd call it liberal punk.
Yes, exactly. And that embodied like hipsterism in Brooklyn and all that shit. But like the early version, like the ones who like, you know. So I think.
Let me ask you a question.
And the ending of that is woke. By the way, the other thing that it got replaced with is woke, which is the new generation.
Right. And then the death of woke is COVID-19 and the quarantine.
Let me ask you guys a question.
Yeah.
You just said there was an era of hippies, right? What years would you categorize that era?
The hipsters?
Hippies or 60s?
No, hipster era.
After 2000, I would say from 2001 to 2013, 14.
I agree.
What's crazy about that? Dang, that shit is not. You're right, 100% right. Because I can't speak for anything that happened from 2001 to like 2009, right? Because that was high school for me, and it was a different world. I lived in a completely different world than John did.
Yeah, you were wrapped in a newspaper every other week.
Yeah, it was. He has to read the tattoos all over himself to remember those eras.
But from 2010 on, I can't say that was a very hipster fucking. That was hipster. It was hipster everywhere.
You know that song by Kid? I think it's Kid Cudi, "Kick Push."
No, that's Lupe Fiasco.
Yeah, that song embodies that era.
Yeah, Kick Push. Yup.
And now it's like
Kid Cudi.
Yes, those two guys definitely have They are the stamp of what that spirit of that time was, I think.
Sorry, go ahead, Kevin.
Who was the first, before Kid Cudi, who was the first black depressed dude? Was that Kid Cudi?
Well, they were...
Biggie Smalls, man.
One could say that early Kanye West was
man, Biggie Smalls. I don't want to live no more.
That's not... He's talking about indie. He's talking about
every day like a hustle. Another drug struggle.
He means like indie. He means like indie hip hop. That's what he means by depressed.
Emo hip hop.
emo hip hop.
Yes.
It was Kid Cudi, yo. Because Kid Cudi has a fucking catalog of that shit, not just one song.
Yeah.
Kendrick Lamar?
No, he's way after.
Before that, though.
He's African American, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. Come to think of it, I think I always knew that about him.
I've been throwing my worst jokes at Kevin for 3 weeks, and he's ready.
Really? And Kevin can't tell the difference.
No. He'll hit me. You know what it is? He'll hit me with like 4 bangers, and then like 27 straight stinkers.
Yeah.
Like,
let me tell you about some fun stuff I've been doing. So I don't know if you remember this, John. Oh, I think I texted it to you. I texted Colin back in September. Do you remember this?
I saw this.
And he had, I guess it was a new phone, and he had forgotten, he didn't save my number, so he was like, "Who's this?" And then I told him I'm Adam Morris.
Yes.
Madam Moore beers for the dedicated listeners.
I'm surprised he doesn't play along when you sent me the texts.
He really doesn't play along.
That's the reason we kicked him off the show. Exactly.
And I hit him back up again yesterday, the day before. I was like, let me check on Steve. Let's see how he's doing. And I hit him up, and he wrote, "Who's this?" And I wrote, "It's still Adam."
That's awesome.
And then he wrote me back today, finally, after yesterday. He wrote, "Insane Zeke Rain, ?
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. And I'm also really glad.
Guess it's you. Like, you're the, like, I would have automatically, it's gotta be Josh's fucking dumbass.
That's why that's why I have to fuck with him, man. Like,
you have to. Honestly, like, normally I say stop it. I hate this. But the fact that he can't figure it out and there's only 5 people who needs to.
Yeah,
well,
especially.
He keeps thinking it's Kevin. That's what he writes to me. Kevin, I know it's you, Kevin.
Wow, he just doesn't.
I wrote to him, "It's still Adam. How's it going up?" I go, "How's it going up there?" You know, because Adam's in hell.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
I go, "How's it going up there? You got that China flu yet?"
and then he stops and he's like, "Shit, this might actually be Adam."
What happened to our dedicated fan of the
we forgot to invite him. Hold on a second. We're such dicks.
You got to invite him, man. What's going on?
Should we invite him in the last?
Yeah, let's get him on the last 5 minutes of the free.
And then we'll have him in the Patreon.
He'll hang out with us for the premiere. And you too can be a premier member if you subscribe to the Low End Gigolos at patreon.com/lowendgigolos. Follow us on Instagram at Low End Gigolos, and you can check us out on lowendgigolos.com.
Yeah, and we have spots open, guys, because some of people are leaving our subscription family. So there's a few spots open. So if you want
we opened up some new spots. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
You know what, John? You get the jiggly of the coronavirus award for the way you demonstrated that what just happened. I'm a big fan of that. Ladies and gentlemen, Jonathan Kaplan. Still has no idea what the hell just happened.
Yeah. What do you call it? I just invited Canis to the show, so he should be getting here soon.
Canis Latrans, man. How's he doing in this, you think?
I think he's doing all right.
Yeah?
Yeah, because everyone is starting at the same place right now.
Yeah.
And I think he feels like, the playing field is a little bit, a lot of people are feeling this. I'm feeling this. Like, the playing field is a little bit even now.
Yeah.
I'm seeing, like, comics who, like, or celebrities, like today was, like, they were on NBC and everybody was on computer screens. Like, it was wild to look at.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, they're
fucking their house.
It's like they're slumming it down with us.
Yeah.
Like, it was as good as anyone's Instagram Live.
They had a fundraiser or something yesterday, the day before. Kevin and I were watching. It was Elton John and some other celebrities doing songs from their apartments, their houses, whatever. And Alicia Keys came on, and me and Kevin were like, "Man, that's not Alicia Keys' house." Or if it was like the help's bedroom. She was.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it was. I was like, "Come on, man. There's no way."
Josh,
how much was she worth, Kevin? She was worth like
70 million.
How much?
70 million. And she had an IKEA couch. Like, come on.
She had like your sick grandmother's couch in the living room. She had an IKEA landscape poster in the background. It wasn't.
So wait a second. This was Beyonce's house?
No, Alicia Keys.
Alicia Keys. Wow.
Oh, and she was wearing a white T-shirt
with a hole in it.
Sleeve.
That is kind of cool. It's kind of cool that, did she never find out that she was famous?
I just felt like she was fronting. I
get it. I don't want people to know how good I really got it.
Oh, I see.
I felt like she's trying to connect with like the people and
right.
Josh, I hope it is the Helps house. I mean, room.
Room.
Right? Huh?
Yes.
And she puts a piano in all of the Helps room and she's like, I'm gonna play this song and you tell me if you like it. Like she forces them to
listen to her playing her fucking music.
Yeah, that's what I hope.
That is pretty great.
I keep on abusing my help with my songs.
That's something new. I can never let you be alone.
It's gotta kind of suck to be like a worker for like a super famous person who's completely narcissistic and insane. I'm not saying she is.
Dude, I've seen people do that for CEOs and shit.
Right.
Like
just rich people. Yeah, they do it for wealthy people.
What do you mean? What did you see?
So the company I work for, like where I do photography and shit for them, I have to work sort of closely with the CEO, who's like worth 75 million. I mean, well, and been making money for 25 years, right?
They're making that money.
So check it out. So over the years,
he's a Viking too, right?
No, but over the years, somebody like he's always had assistants, like who work at the company, but who are like basically 24/7 indentured servants to him. They can't have a life. And I knew like 3 different girls who were like used to work in politics and were like, let me take this job. And hold on, I think Magic might be joining us. But like, let me take this job and just sort of giving up their whole life or their whole independence to work with someone who's big, to work with someone who's like making moves. And it's like, some of them are really earnest and be like, wow, this is such a great opportunity. And then some of them are like straight up getting taken advantage of. I mean, they're all getting taken advantage of.
Right. But some of them are willingly getting taken advantage of.
Yes, some of them want it. Like they know that they want to like leverage it or something.
This is how I pay my bills.
So, Your Honor, as I conclude, Mr. Weinstein is, he's only guilty of trying to help these women's career.
Hold on a second. I have to help.
I am not an endorser of anybody who does anything disgusting to women.
Get Canis in here. Okay, great. Canis is going to be here in just a moment. And then we can talk to him for 2 seconds.
No.
So let's get back to what you were saying. So you're saying that you see these people that are working for your boss, they're getting taken advantage of. By what? By like getting fed false dreams? By what?
Well, I guess
what is their intention, John? Is it that they think by being around somebody who's super successful and wealthy, somehow they will become?
Yeah, I think that in a way, no, I think that everybody at a certain age has idealism. Everybody has idealism. And idealism, even that like something good is going to happen to me one day. Even that simple idealism. It's part of, I think, being alive. We all have a drive, and part of that drive is wrapped up in some type of dream. So like these people are young. They're like 22, 23, 24, 25. And they're like, oh, this gigantic company, the fucking CEO, and I'm going to be their like body man or point person or like administrative assistant. I'm going to fly around the world and do all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, but like you're an expendable person that like,
I mean, how many people today feel that way? Like, oh shit, I didn't realize how expendable I really was until right now.
I think
well, one person who isn't expendable is Canis LaTrans. Welcome, Canis.
Or in English, Canis the Trans.
Yes.
He's connecting his audio, so he can't say dick.
Oh, sounds great. But you know what? He's going to laugh so hard at us making fun of him later.
Of course.
There you go.
There he is. Ladies and gentlemen, the world's #1 Tekken player on the internet.
Yes.
Mr. Canis.
Oh, shit. That sounds
the
terrible.
Trans.
No, that was just Canis' signature groan. You know, Canis has a signature groan like, hey.
What up, Canis?
What's up? I'm trying to test this audio out.
Yeah, man.
It does. It looks like you're a helicopter pilot, but you're like a rogue helicopter pilot, and the Gigolos are stuck in the jungle and be like, we got a radio base. You got to get us out of here. And you're in the plane. You're like, I'm going to swing over.
It's like 28 weeks later. All the zombies are coming around us.
He's in one of those little bubble. Looks like what do you call one of those? What is the dragonfly helicopters? That's like a bubble, and he's like hanging out the window throwing a rope.
Yeah, you've got a vertical screen. So are you contacting us on a cell phone, Candace? I don't think you can hear us.
Candace, this is what we meant by you be on the show. You be on the show. You can't talk or say or hear us, and we make fun of you. Candace. Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Shining example.
That's the time we have right now.
Listen, guys, if you pay hundreds of dollars a year, you too can come and ruin our show for a few minutes every 100 episodes.
No, Candace. Candace, we really do have to go, but it's been great. Listen, we're gonna have you on for the Patreon episode.
Candace, I don't know if you can hear us. It's our 100th episode. It's our 100th free episode, right?
You know, we just thought of that just before the show. Like we were just thinking, like, hey boys, remember? Didn't you realize it's the 100th episode today?
Can I say something?
I just thought of that.
Can I say something? You know, we can't quit now, right?
Yeah, no, we can't.
We can't because, like, not only have we done this during times in our life when we didn't want to do it, we're doing it in a time in our life where technically we could just say we can't do the podcast. There's a fucking pandemic. We're self-quarantined. Like, you can't quit after doing 100 episodes, and you cannot quit after you like everything's thrown against you, and you decided to keep moving forward. So we can't quit now. Now you can't leave.
Yeah. I agree 100%, Kevin. And and the thing is, when I told you guys that I'm having a hard time, the thing that was most poignant for me was I woke up today, in the middle of the afternoon, and I knew it was Wednesday, and I always look forward to what our typical Wednesday of shooting the Gigolos. And I think for the first time in my life, I really didn't feel like even doing anything today. And that was that's where the fear and the uncomfortability of what the situation is right now. Because for me, that's not normal. Me, I've always been the one, I want to do this. I don't care if the apartment is on fire or the world's on fire. So that's where we are, but I'm happy we did it. I'm happy we made it to our 100th free episode. I love you guys. I think we make incredible, hilarious comedy together.
And when we're back on the streets, I'm going to let you know right now, I'm about to be a sex symbol again.
Yeah, dude. It's going to be a whole new era.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of sex.
Guys, look, we've been the Low End Gigolos. Kevin?
Good night. Pull out.
All right. That was the free episode.
Yes, sir.
Candace, what's happening with your audio shit? Well,
you are deaf.
It's better this way, really.
Do you still want to stay on, or do you want to wait? Because if you're not going to talk, this is kind of distracting.
Is it? We can let him just sit there.
Wait, what if you just do the regular house audio, or you don't want anybody else in your house hearing the crazy shit we're saying? Can't you just do it without?
Yeah.
Oh, you need the microphone. Duh.
Let me tell you. You try to hear me better now?
Yes.
Yes.
I can hear you.
So this microphone is trash.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Basura.
Now,
I just didn't want the speaker to come out.
Position the phone better because it's like you hold it. Well, how you hold it? With your pinky underneath?
Nah. No, I was just using this. That's the reason why it was all messed up. But you hear me better now?
Yeah, this is better. Yeah, all good. Right. Awesome. Well, hold on. I'm going to stop this recording and then I'll start the recording up again.
Okay.
It's not going to affect us.